That's sick. Good times.
We are
All right,
live.
We are
we're live now.
live.
Cut it out. Cut it out, guys. Cut it out.
Hey. Hey everyone, we're already losing it. It's just
Yep.
begun. Hey everyone. Jeanette Red here, coming at you live
You're beautiful.
with Nate. Nope, you're this way. Nate and Flip. I think that's how we say it. Yeah. These are the extraordinary humans that I've been talking so much about. Oh, good. We got some peeps in here.
Hey, people.
All right, guys. So, first thing you want to do is grant StreamYard access. So that comment should be above me, or if you're on your phone, if you swipe left, it's in there. You're going to see a little link. Click the link, grant them access so I can see your names. Otherwise, you come up like this, Facebook user, which is okay, but we like to see names.
It's awesome.
Thank you,
I'm
everybody,
currently-
for hopping in. Colleen's in here. What up, Colleen?
No,
I feel
we're
like
everywhere.
a piece of shit husband right now. I just watched my wife unload all the groceries and I did nothing. I love you.
I love you. Oh, Rachel said it's Rachel. It's Rachel, and StreamYard doesn't like me. I feel you, Rachel. StreamYard
Felt
hates me as well.
Felt that.
That is so funny. All right, everybody. Well, welcome. I'm so happy to have you guys here. We are gonna do some talking today, some training, some value dropping. I got my wine at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday.
It's Wine's Day.
Wine down Wednesday. I didn't even realize that.
I don't know if you heard my wife, but she was like, "Yeah," when you said wine party.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Hell yeah!
Little
Super excited for today. We got a. You're on mute. Oh, she's muted. We're muted. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, gotcha. I wanted to shout out some of the women folk of the group juice community. I gotta say it. The women like Jeanette, Rachel, Kate. I mean, there's been so many women that are just crushing it in group juice, like just all throughout their businesses, right? Like Jeanette now, she's drinking wine. She's made money this week from home. She's probably drinking wine while she's doing it, which I think's even better than anything. But just shout out to the women that are out there doing shit and making waves. Okay,
smashing it. I mean, yeah, it's been an awesome week for. I don't want to turn this into like a group juice soapbox. Just lying, I kind of do, but whatever. There's been a lot of rock stars this week, right? It's been absolutely awesome to see. A lot of people are crushing high ticket sales, low ticket sales. It's been cool, right? It's been awesome. Quite a few of you are on the live actually, so yeah, shout out to you guys.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah, I see. Sorry guys, I'm like all over the place because I have 14 screens open, trying to watch everything.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah, squirrel. Yep. Oh yeah.
So who's excited for today, right? Let me know in the comments. We are going to be dropping a pretty cool training for you guys. Put something together special for you guys, unique to the group. For those of you that missed it, we also did one yesterday in Jill's group. We're going to be doing one today. If you watched the one yesterday in Jill's group, it's not the same, so don't worry. It's a different training. It's a different concept, a different topic.
We're just making rounds, just trying to change the perspective and light some fires under people's asses, if you will. So let me know in the comments if you're already doing something online or if you've came into this Awesome Humans group, like just looking for the best way to start. So like, let me know if you're looking to get started. You can say looking to get started, or if you've already started, like this is going to benefit every kind of person there is. All right. So I want some comments to flow through. I have low self-esteem, and comments kind of pick me up. Okay. So try to make me feel better. Appreciate it. Boom.
Okay.
Already. Cool. Love it. I love it.
Looking to get started. Heck
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Here we go.
Sweet. Yes, that does start. That does help me tremendously. Even though folks think I'm, just crushing it and doing well, I do have low self-esteem. I'm bald. I'm not even 35 yet. It's kind of a tough life. Just saying.
That is kind of messed up that they're taking it away up here, but letting it grow
No.
here.
No,
Not right.
it's kind of sad.
What-
Not even
What was that line? The hair fell from his head to his face.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank y'all for sharing. I can see Beverly and a handful of Facebook users and Stephanie. Cool. Is there anyone here that I know Jeanette's probably mentioned Flate or Flippin' Nate? We're known as Flate. She's probably mentioned us a little bit. But is there anyone who doesn't really know who the hell we are? We don't want you to, feel that stranger danger. So we can give like a brief background real quick if anyone wants it. Like you can say like, hey, who the hell is the bearded guy? If you're in this group, I'm pretty sure you already know Jeanette cusses more than I do, but a lot.
Might be the wine. Maybe we should slow down. I feel like everybody knows who you are because I talk about you obviously, but you want to give them a little rundown of where you guys came from?
Okay.
My mom.
Well, there you go. Nate's not long-winded at all. He just
I'll give a brief 1 to 2 minute deal. Other than coming from my mother, I used to work in a plant. Okay, I used to work 12-hour shifts in the aluminum extrusion plant. The best way I can explain that is everyone remembers the Play-Doh when it first came out, and you had the little thing that you could push Play-Doh through, and it came out like spaghetti. I used to do that with 1,000-degree metal. All right, we'd push shit through a shape and make other shapes. And I had 2 daughters. Miranda was born in 2016 and Ashton was born in 2017. At this time, I was working literally 60 to 90 hours a week. In most cases, 7 days straight, swing shift. It sucked. I missed all of their first everything. So I began looking for ways to make money from home in 2017. And to make this super short, I fucking failed really bad from 2017 to 2020. And I wasted about 40 grand with little to no results. Definitely not worth talking about. I spent $2 grand on ads and made $23. That was one of my biggest highlights. 2020, I jumped into a thing called Legendary. I have nothing bad to say, but it wasn't everything I needed. But it got my start into like organic or affiliate marketing. And 3 months later, I was fired from my 6-figure job due to COVID. My wife lost her job. So we went from a 6-figure income, 2-income household to nothing. And anyone who's got kids know they eat every 7.5 minutes. So they're expensive to feed. And, obviously we got bills just like everyone else. So I dipped into my 401k. I got burned on another $10,000 investment. My pride was hurt. I was skeptical about everything for a long time. But then luckily, I found this new thing, which was SAA and Jacob Cares, and I sold my lawnmower. I jumped into that. I put my head down, and in less than 8 months, I hit my first $20,000 month online. Blew my mind, and you better believe I went and bought a fucking brand new lawnmower with headlights, 0 turn, 54-inch cut, for those of you that are curious. And I haven't really looked back since. Okay. So 2021, I crossed 6 figures, not in sales, but in profit, money that hit the bank. And it was all with building a personal brand, content creation, high ticket affiliate marketing, selling other people's products. Then I locked arms with this other inappropriate human. His name is Nate, and we created something that a lot of folks have found their own success with. It's called Group Juice, and we've helped, I don't know, hundreds of folks make their first money online, hit 10K months, like all the bells and whistles. And we built it based on our failures and the best way to retain, consume, and implement so that folks can get results way faster than we did. So there's my quick story.
So I'm Nate, as you know, inappropriate human. That's if any of you guys have seen my content, I'm usually tiptoeing the line of offensive and trying to sell something. You know, I didn't have a 6-figure salary. I've literally only worked anything but barely above minimum wage jobs. And I started shortly after, started my online journey in 2017, similar to Flip, and failed for a long time as well. Jumped into a plethora of different business models, Amazon FBA, ran a digital marketing agency selling Facebook ads as a service for probably about 7 or 8 months. Had no idea what I was doing, getting clients on retainers and couldn't deliver results. So I lost them as fast as I got them. And then I moved into affiliate marketing and blogging. I have an absolutely massive blog that nobody looks at. I think there's 296,000 words on my blog, which is 5 or 6 New York best. Oh my God. Book. Books worth of content on the blog. I wrote a bunch of blog posts about topics that nobody was looking for, and with matching YouTube videos. So if you guys ever want to go read for the next 18 months, go ahead and check that out. That's kind of where my journey landed. Kind of on the verge of burnout, and then discovered high ticket affiliate marketing. Again, with Jacob Cares and SAA, that's kind of where both of our businesses took off, and really discovered the power of building a brand, personal brand, right here on Facebook, which is primarily what we talk about a lot. Yeah, I did 6 figures last year, not in commissions, in sales, just so there's no, because that's yeah. And we locked arms this year and rolled out Group Juice, as Flip mentioned, and been absolutely killing it with student results out the wazoo, if that's even a word. There's more. Like the biggest thing that I will say is it's not something that we just pulled out of our ass and something that might work. Both of us have been implementing Group Juice strategies for a couple of years now. And it was a really big proof of concept in our own businesses individually. And then that's kind of how we got married and figured out that we were going to do something together. It was
Congratulations. I didn't know.
We realized we were both doing very similar things, and our strengths and weaknesses kind of really enhance each other's business as a whole. So we locked arms and created Group Juice, and that's a snapshot of where we're at now. I think the biggest selling point is if we add up all our client results, they have made more money this year than us. And that's it with a plethora of different products, offers. It doesn't really necessarily matter what you're promoting or what you're selling. It works to promote anything. We're not really the circle jerk type of product where we're just going to teach you how to sell our shit. We just want everybody to have success with their own brand. So that's my 2-minute story.
Thank you. That was a good one. Yes, and this is why when I decided to join Group Juice that it like clicked automatically because you guys are proof of what you're teaching. You guys have done this and that's why you're teaching it and that's why it works. Simple as that. So yes. So would you like me to share my screen?
Oh, we can, yeah. If we want to dive right into the training.
Do you want to jump right in? Does anybody have any questions before we jump into this? Anyone?
Anything.
I have a question. So who wants to know how to build out online business with like minimal amount of tech, right? Who has got stuck in their business building funnels for months or like picking an email automation tool or anything like that, right? Because that's going to be what we are going to run a training on today is how to do the anti-Nate version of online business. And what I mean by that is eliminate all the tech stuff, because I spent a year. That's the only reason I'm known as the tech guy, because I spent a couple years building tech and thinking it was going to make me money, and it didn't. So that's what we got planned for you today: is how to minimize all the tech and have a lot of success. Right? A big part of our business is super simple, and that's kind of what we talk about a lot. Right?
I have a question too. See a lot of me's coming in. Folks are curious. My favorite comment is, I don't mind tech, but you guys are fun. I like it. Picasso. So my question is, how many of you have one of the following? Facebook, obviously. I know you have Facebook. TikTok, Instagram, a YouTube account, Pinterest, Snapchat, any of those. You got any of those on your phone? Let me know. List out which ones you got. Because what Nate just said is nothing but truth. I really suck. I still suck at tech. Nate is teaching me his ways. I am learning a lot. But in the very, very beginning, I tried to do way too many complicated things. I was paying for all this shit that wasn't making me nothing. Like I was just paying all these subscriptions for funnel builders and email autoresponders and all that shit. Now I've got something that's like so fucking simple that even my grandma could do it. Now, what I did to simplify it was I took my personal Facebook profile, just like Nate, and that's where I built my personal brand in the beginning. The first 8 or 9 months, that's all I did. Personal Facebook profile. I got rid of all my negative ass friends, even family. I said, hey, nothing personal, but I'm about to make this all business. Nothing personal. This is all business related. I still get salty ass folks. Hey, you deleted me from Facebook. Yeah, well, I haven't talked to you in 2 years. It doesn't fucking matter. Just get over yourself, put a tampon in, and calm the fuck down.
It's
now,
so true.
I built my business with my personal profile and closing sales from Facebook. And we're going to kind of dive into that today, but hopefully that'll cause a little bit of curiosity and intrigue, because if you're a normal person, just like me, just like Nate, Jeanette, like you got things that you want to do. You don't really like being micromanaged at work, or maybe you just want to make some extra cash each month to, kind of fund your bad or good habits. I'm not judging nobody, whatever you want to do, but just make some extra money. Okay. So that's what we're going to go dive into today.
Let me grab the doc and I will drop it in the group as well.
Yep. I did the Amazon stuff for a while too, so I can kind of relate to that Facebook user. I did the FBA, I did the affiliate side. I was a third-party seller using the drop shipping method. Yeah.
And just like really quick for me, I was like that person that didn't want to do Facebook. I like refused to do it, and I wasted months not making any business, not doing anything, not gaining any traction just because I refused to do Facebook. And then I met you guys and then was like, fuck it, and deleted every single person that I was friends with on Facebook and made this for my business, made the group, and my business has blown up like drastically in just 2 months. So Facebook is the real key here. And if you're scared of what everybody's going to think or what your family's going to think and your friends, just delete them. It's, you want to, you want to be serious about this and run a business. This is where you're going to do it, in Facebook. And that's my 2 cents.
And I will even piggyback on that a little bit too, is like, I know it's a fear for a lot of people. It's like what other people are going to think. And like, you're going to start building this online business. I don't want my friends and family to see. And like, it's hard, right? It's hard to step out of that comfort zone, right? But a good analogy or a good quote is like, you can't let the opinions of people, like I think I made a TikTok about it, is if the opinions of other people are stopping you from pursuing anything you want, then remove them, right, from your world. And the reality is that it's human nature to, they're gonna pass judgment either way, right? You buy the blue car, you should have got red, right? Like the only person that really needs to understand what you're doing or why you're doing something is you, right? So, and the biggest benefit with Facebook, especially those of you that take action like fairly quickly, is there's this really awesome synergy from posting content and being able to connect with people directly, which is by far the easiest way for beginners to start making sales, is if you start actually connecting with people, right? Because you can be very proactive. If you want to make sales, you can go out and make sales. And that doesn't mean you have to be a sales savant like Jeanette or anything like that. But, so
go tell my boss at my 9 to 5 that. Okay. All right. Let's see. So we're going to share my screen. Look at me using technology for the first time.
So pillars to your business, right? This is kind of a breakdown of our entire business. Like this is no fluff. Like this is our multi 6-figure business, our entire ecosystem. So, short form video content, TikTok, Facebook Reels. And that's what I just mentioned too, is if you guys are already posting TikToks, please remove the watermark and get them onto Facebook Reels. The reach on them are insane right now. You're going to get a lot of views. You're going to generate a lot of conversations. You're going to generate a lot of leads. Long form content, written in video, Facebook profile and group. If you're earlier on in your business, if you're just starting, you will probably have to post on your profile a little bit more because of the way that this is going to end up working. If you're posting Reels, it's going to build up followers on your profile. And then content on your profile is how you're going to be able to generate some conversations. We don't post very much on our profiles anymore because we structure our entire business to funnel into our groups. That's our main objective. Kind of what we talk about in Group Juice 2 is eventually if you want to eliminate your Facebook profile posts, you can do that. But don't, if you're earlier on, you will have to kind of change, right? You might have to post on your profile more. So let's talk. These are the content buckets, right? These are literally the only types of content that we're really talking about creating. Some type of short form content. The beauty of short form videos is you can repurpose them in multiple places. You have a TikTok, you got Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, 5 places of exposure for one piece of content, right? Now we do short form content a bit differently. We don't necessarily try to sell very aggressively from short form videos because the majority of people who see your short form videos are cold, right? So what we kind of do, and this is the secret sauce we teach inside of Group Juice, is we use short form video content to grow our communities, which then gets more eyeballs on our long form stuff, which is meant to build deep connections and provide value, which is where the sale will actually happen, right? That makes the sales extremely easy when you structure your business this way. So let's talk about your assets. right? The ability to build an email list, right? That's a big one. It's kind of look at it like job security, right? You can use a free tool. Aweber is a good one. Can be found free and very basic. You can do this when people join your Facebook group, right? So you're collecting an email when somebody joins your Facebook group, right? Facebook group of your own becomes a very powerful place to build long-standing relationships with people, and eventually they'll grow by themselves, right? You can look at a Facebook group as a online journal and an inside look at your business, right? And it becomes your space, right? One of the most common strategies taught in the Facebook space is go join other groups and add members, right? So obviously the power of Facebook groups is there. And growing your own can be highly beneficial to your business.
Can I add something? just I got a lag because I live deep out in the country. All right. So, question for you guys that are watching: Have you ever wanted to go and buy something, but you wanted to check out like the reviews? Like, let me know if you've done that. Like me, if I'm gonna buy anything, I don't care if it's a course, a tool, a TV, or something for the kids, whatever. I typically want to see like more information around other folks that have gotten the thing, what their experience was with it and stuff like that. So just to kind of touch on the assets thing, videos, long form posts, like this is how simple it can be to build assets that live forever, right? Most of the if you look at anything like on Amazon as an example, they've all got product reviews, customer reviews, testimonials, videos, and all that shit. So like same thing when you're selling, I don't care if it's physical products or if it's even digital products. Look at things that you're passionate about, things that you can, talk about easily. Like if I just think if someone said, hey, what can you talk about for 30 minutes without blinking an eye or running out of things to talk about? These are things that you bring into the online space where you share your views, you share your experience, you share your results, things that you're learning. All right. So like this is where most people overcomplicate this process. It's like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. How many of you felt overwhelmed trying to do something online? I know I did for a long ass time. Right. But it's like, if you look at it from a standpoint of, okay, my social media is my journal. Documentation beats conversation. I can sit here and say, hey, I've done this the last couple of years, right? Since August 2020, I've done, I don't know, probably almost $400,000 online in sales, a lot in profit, whatever. I can sit here and say that till I'm blue in the face. But if I said, hey, I've documented the entire journey inside of my group from start to finish. You can go back and look at any of the things that I've created. Go back and look at my very first YouTube video from December 2019 where I was at work and things that I produced since then. It's like folks can talk all the shit they want. They can call me whatever they want. That's really none of my business because I'm just going to say all of my information is public. I've documented it. It's there. Go back and look. I'm nobody special. I'm not the smartest guy, right? The only thing I had growing up was common sense and street smarts. It's probably why I got kicked out of college for selling drugs. Crazy, right? Anyways, this is how simple it can be to grow your business. So stop looking for tomorrow's payday and look at it from a standpoint of, okay, what can I learn the next couple of months that are going to double, triple, and quadruple my income in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yep.
Right? Learning skills that pay you long term. I'm talking the next 5 to 10 years, right? So I want you guys to think about that as you're, say, one of you embark on this journey with Jeanette, with Nate, and myself. It's like, don't try to have everything perfect. Just look at really documenting the things that you're doing and learning. Okay. That's what's going to build your brand and your authority as a leader. Okay.
And then we'll kind of dive into sales process, messenger, like the as I touched on earlier, the ability to connect with people directly in the DMs in unison with your content is very beneficial. Doesn't mean you have to be like some sleazy salesman. You don't have to like twist people's arms to buy your product. And you don't have to do calls if you don't want to do calls, right? We don't do, I think we've done maybe 6 or 7 calls all year. A Google Doc showcasing the product you're selling, the types of problems it solves. We've done over 100K in 100 days with a Google document, right? Like it's not like some hypothetical strategy. This is the entire structure of our multi 6-figure business right here. Short form video content to a group, long form content in the group, quick conversations, closing with a Google document, right? Linear is lethal. That's a quote I picked up from Tuan, 7-figure marketer. Keeping everything simple, especially in the beginning, right? And as Flip just mentioned, the biggest benefit of keeping things minimal and like minimal automations, keeping it super simple and eliminating a lot of the tech, it's going to allow you to learn skills, right? And this is one of the biggest shifts that I had in my business or realizations is a lot of people, and myself included, you try to automate all this stuff. You try to do all this fancy tech stuff, but you don't even understand why it's going to work. So if you can kind of flip it on its head and learn the skills first, it makes using automations a real thing, right? If you know how to have a conversation, if you know how to create content, if you know how to record a video, if you know how to write copy, anything that you try to automate is going to work because you actually understand how it works, right? Does that make sense? Or am I just, did I butcher that? Let me know in the comments.
Guys, please be open and honest here. Okay. That's what we love. Open and honesty.
Skills that you can acquire forever, right? People look at me crazy when we, or both of us crazy when I talk about, flipping myself. We probably spent upwards of 6 figures in coaching, consulting, courses, right? But the reality is we have skills that we have forever, right? Like we know how to write copy, we know how to create content, we know how to sell, right? We can take this and move it into anything that we want, right? Any offer, if we want to sell a call, right? If you acquire a skill at something, you can literally like 100x your income, right? I went from working $16 an hour to charging $500 an hour for a Zoom call. That's insane, right? It wouldn't have been possible unless I started putting an emphasis on acquiring skills, right? So, and it's going to be a key thing to literally having the ability to create cash, right? On demand, whenever you want through content you create.
Yeah. Who feels like that's it right there? Makes sense. Learn skills first, and then automate later. How many folks here feel like they're just like not really making what they should be making at work? Like I made really good money at work when I did have a job, but how thin I was stretched. I'm talking about like wake up at 5 a.m, get dressed, put my boots on, drive an hour, bust my ass for 12 to 14 hours, drive an hour back, and then my kids wonder why is daddy so tired, right? And even though I was making good money, it was like I was never home. Like here's some real shit that I heard from another marketer, another very successful marketer at that. He was like, man, he's like, you go to work to pay for the vehicle that you're going to use to drive to work, to pay for the house that you're never at, to make sure you get things that you never get to use. And it kind of hit hard because for me, the most important thing was, spending time with my kids because I had a pretty shitty ass childhood with an alcoholic mom, and I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, she made me who I am today, but I didn't have I didn't have a great childhood. So yeah, I can do it. I had a shitty childhood, so it's like I wanted to make sure my kids don't ever have to experience any of that, and I wanted to be there. And something that most people don't know is my wife has this very expensive traveling habit. Like me, I'll stay at home all day if I could, but my wife's like, hey, I want to go here. So like we're going to Salem next month for, do hocus pocus shit. But every time I turn around, she's like, "Can we go here?" Anyways, I have to support my wife any way possible. Okay, so keep this in mind. If you feel like you're not making what you're worth, then stop giving the company. I'm not saying that your company's bad, but you're not going to get ahead working for someone else because they want you to work for them so that they can get ahead. Right? This is why they created the business, they created the company, etc. It's never been easier right now to build something of your own that will remove you from the job or at least have you comfortable as fuck while being at home. Okay? So if you build something for yourself, not only can you kind of control your cash flow once you acquire the skills, but you can literally get to the point where you're like, fuck you. I don't want to do this anymore. If that's you, of course. But just being comfortable, okay, knowing, hey, I've got these skills, I can pretty much create my own paycheck and there's no cap. Right? You don't have to let someone else dictate, hey, hey, Daniel, you're only worth $20 an hour. Fuck that. I'm worth way more than $20 an hour. Right? You learn these skills and you apply them, then there's no cap on your earning potential because digital assets, they're out there running. The content is out there running while your ass is drooling on your pillow. Okay.
So we'll break down flow of what, like, this is what we're doing and what I would encourage everybody to start doing in their own business. Obviously, because we're running this training, posting short form videos, right? 3 to 5 daily, right? If you can't do that every single day, don't beat yourself up. It's all right. You can miss some days. Don't worry about going viral. Honestly, that's one of the biggest shifts that I would encourage most people if they're creating short form content. Prioritize a genuine connection. Share your story, things you're actively doing in your life and business. Direct people into your world, Facebook group, Facebook profile, right? The biggest thing people get hung up on is they want more followers, more views, more traffic, right? And I'm a big advocate on you don't need more traffic, you need better traffic, right? It's far more beneficial to have 100 people watch your video that are actually interested in what you have to say than 100,000 that don't give a shit, right? And that boils down to the type of content you're creating. There's a lot of garbage on TikTok. I've participated in some of it. Don't get me wrong. I think my first viral video on TikTok was about selling your dirty panties, but that's neither here nor there.
It's so weird that it went viral.
I think it was for that, the best side hustle, sniffer or some shit. Don't be like me, okay? Prioritize building genuine connections, relationships over revenue, right? The relationships are what actually makes the revenue, right? That's the reality of it. If you haven't noticed, right, we are literally just on this live training being ourselves. There's a reason behind that because us, and we want to actually connect with people like us. Next would be posting long form content. I know this is easier said than done if you've never done this. Written and video, cycling between things you're doing, lifestyle, educational content. If you've made it this far into our training so far, you've probably been offended a little bit, or you have more knowledge than most. And if you've also watched some of the trainings from Jeanette, right? If you've the biggest limiting belief a lot of people have in the earlier stages is, why would anybody listen to me, right? You have to remember there's people out there right now that don't even know online business is a thing. If you're in Jeanette's group, you are aware of online business, and you can start talking about online business. You can start talking about things you're doing, trainings you're taking, or the other side of that coin too is documenting your process, as Flip mentioned, right? Just talking about what you're doing. You're building a personal brand, right? Or at least that's what we talk about a lot, is building a personal brand. It's just building a following, an audience of people that are similar to you so you can sell them relevant products, right?
Yep.
Next up, follow up, targeted outreach, following up with those who are consuming your content and having a chat, right? Notice I didn't mention spamming or blasting links ASAP, right? The goal is to kickstart a relationship. The reality is the majority of people who you talk to today, or the new relationship you started today, aren't going to buy something from you today. That's just the nature of it, right? You have to actually nurture and build a relationship. Everybody on the other side of that phone screen or the messenger chat, it's another human being, right? Just have a chat with them, talk to them, right? Some of them might not be ready to buy your stuff right now. That's 100% fine. Doesn't mean they won't buy from you in the future. They won't buy from you in the future if you're a dick, but presenting offers, right? Making offers to those that would be a good fit for the products you're selling, right? This is a big one, a good fit, right? We're big on not twisting people's arms or being 100% transparent about what it's actually going to take to build a brand online, because we want people to have success in our worlds, because that's how our brand grows. The more people that we can actually help have success, the bigger and bigger our brand grows. So, selling products to people that don't have rent money or think they're going to make money by Monday is a recipe for disaster for you, for the product creator, for everybody, all the parties involved, right? So that's a big one. That's kind of an ethics thing. But as we talk about, and as I've kind of reinforced a few times, is we're talking about building real relationships with people. And if you can actually sell products to people that are good fits, and you prioritize building that relationship even after they've bought from you, they'll buy something again, right? If you look at the relationship we've had with Jeanette, she's bought multiple products from us. She's bought quite a few different things from us.
Goddamn everything.
Everything. Because we've prioritized building a relationship, right? We've actually helped her, not just, hey, here, buy my shit, and then we don't ever talk again, right?
Now, well, I want to add to that real quick. Like, think about it. How many times have you went out and bought something like in real life that just didn't make your life better or bring you any kind of return on the investment? It could be, I don't know, it could be anything really. A TV. Like, it's great to have a TV. Pretty much every American, anyone in the world has a TV, but that TV really doesn't do anything for you. It's nice to have, it's nice to look at. It might, be good for your kids, whatever. But it doesn't really make you any money, right? So I think a real big thing else to bring to light is folks that have invested in the things that we have created, right? That the knowledge, the training, the resources, the coaching, the support, all of that. Jeanette said something a while back, said, I've made my entire investment back plus some, since joining Group Juice. And that right there alone, if you can invest in something and you learn some skills and you get your investment back, everything after that is the profit zone that you can use to fund your good or bad habits or reinvest to continue to learn more skills, right? But my point is, if it's proven, and it's been proven quite a lot throughout our stuff. It's like, if you invest in it, come in, take it serious, get your ass in the saddle, implement as you consume, everyone gets results. Some way, form, or fashion, they get results, right? Like, one person that had no social media came into it in like February when we launched it, and he had no social media, no Snapchat, no TikTok, no Facebook, whatever. And he hit $10,000 in profit in like less than 100 days. So like pretty much 9x his investment, which is nuts, right? But he came in, did the work, consumed, implemented as he went, and like now he's doing $5,000 and $10,000 months. It's crazy. So keep that in mind.
Rinse and repeat. I kind of already said this. This is the exact framework we're using to close $50,000 to $5,000 deals without sales calls, a few messages back and forth, because we're leveraging this exact framework, right? We are using short form content to feed our groups, long form content in the groups to build the relationships, and we're following up with the people who engage on our content. And like, I wish I could give you a very long-winded answer to that, but that's what we're doing. It's what a lot of our students are doing as well. I've already kind of mentioned this, and I want to reinforce this too. Building a brand online through content creation, or in general, I don't care, even if you're running paid ads, it's a long-term play. right? It is a long-term play. And I mainly mention this because this kept me stuck for a really long time. I thought I was going to be sipping drinks on the beach with my laptop in 30 days, and it's bullshit, right? It's especially if you're brand new, right? You are diving into a completely foreign world that is not the norm, right? The majority of us are told, get a job, go to college, go put into your 401k, and online business is the polar opposite, and all the different nuances of the way online business works is different, right? And it is a long-term play. Okay, so I just want to reiterate that. If you're coming into this world to try to grab quick cash, it could potentially work. But do you want to actually have like a brand that allows you to never have to work a job again, or do you want to have to go back to work in 12 months, right? The number of people that I've seen in the last few years blow up, hit six figures, and vanish is insane because they focus on quick cash grabs, right? And you're going in this vicious cycle of trying to do whatever's going to make the most money, and then you're fucked basically in a, you know, the kindest way possible. You know, no quick cash grab, hyped up BS. We're not about that. That's kind of what we're known for. But it will 100% set you free when you work for it, right? It's not going to be a unicorns and rainbows. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be challenges, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, right? I'm here with my little demon every single day, making more money than I ever made. Demon's my daughter, by the way. They're here making more money than I ever made at my job. So, and that's because I started posting content a few years ago and haven't stopped.
And you didn't give up. That's a big part too.
Yep.
I wanted to give up. I started this in February of this year, and I think I've wanted to give up probably every day since. but I just you just got to keep pushing. Because look, I've been doing this since February, and it's working now. So
Yep.
I'm glad that I stuck in there, you know.
We are too.
And I think a really good analogy too is like fitness, right? For those of you that are familiar with like fitness or like diets or weight loss or anything like that, the biggest thing is like I think it was in like the Compound Effect or Atomic Habits, where he talks about people will diet for 30 days and then they'll stop because they're not seeing things, right? They're not seeing the transformations. And I really like this analogy because that's in a sense how online business ends up working. Is it's all those little micro decisions that you make today and tomorrow and every day for the next 90 days is what's going to actually stack up this huge momentum and brand over the next 12 months. When you do this for prolonged periods of time, the majority of the people that are buying products from us today, as I mentioned earlier, they've been consuming content for a while. It's not like they just came into my group today and then I sell a $1,500 product. It happens, but it's not the standard, right? It's more of like, hey man, I've been seeing your content for the last 90 days and you said something today that made it click for me. I'm ready. Yep. I want to do this. Right. So something I wish I would understand.
Most people have a bad relationship with like the word selling or just selling in general. It's like, oh, they're just selling something. Yeah, well, selling makes the world go round, just in case anyone wasn't aware. But when you can have a better relationship or a better mind frame around selling, I'll give you a good example. When you change that, how you think about selling, then it's going to change a lot more than you think it will. And what I mean by that is I had someone that came to me last year. It's actually Demi, for those of you that know her. She'd only made $65 online, right? She had made $65 in 4 months. She had the concept, something was missing, and she wasn't sure. So after listening and talking to her and building a relationship, okay, what I did was I saw the drive, the determination, how bad she wanted to make it work. And I said, hey, look, I've got something. If you're willing to put your head down and really take it serious, I said, you can change things very quickly. And within just, I think, 2 weeks, she closed her very first high ticket sale. And it was because I sold her something for $3,000. She actually, I did not condone her to get a loan, but she went and got a loan. She made the investment, and she made her first high ticket sale online in like 2 weeks. So it can happen fast for some folks, right? Now, here's the kicker. It took me 18 months to cross 6 figures online. She did it in 9 months, $100,000. Right? She skipped all my bullshit because I saw where she was stepping, right? And that's what she did. And it all started because I felt confident in what I was selling, and I asked for the sale, and I sold it to her, and I worked with her, and I helped her. She did the work. She continues to do the work, and that's how things can happen. Okay, so selling is good, especially when you change somebody's life. All right.
Content to cash, right? Let's talk about the only types of content you need to be creating if you actually want to create your own income online, right? This is where we will differ from most and tell you to copy trends, copy viral videos. And this is kind of a rude statement, but if you're a carbon copy of everyone else online, you will get stuck like the masses online, right? The number of people that I see talking about you're going to do 10K a month, an hour a day, that aren't making 10K months. It's if I had $1 for every one of them, I'd be making 10K a month. So biggest thing, you inject yourself into your content. If you look, I think I just said this a few minutes ago, but if you look at the way that we're doing this live, I'm just being me. Flip's being himself, Jeanette's being her, right? We're just being us. We're being ourselves in our content, right? Because if we're selling products to people, you don't want it to be like, you don't want to have this facade of who you are in your content. And then all of a sudden you flip the script and you're like talking about dildos, dump trucks, and digital courses in your program, or after you sell them something where before you were like a proper nun. It's going to taint the relationship, right? It's
taint,
right? So just be you, your humor, your personality, your lessons, experiences, right? The biggest thing about this too is you got to think is like it's going to allow you to actually connect with people like you, right? Very similar people. So that's a huge one, right?
Yeah,
so
that's why you're all here, because I'm assuming you like something I said, or people tell me that they came into this group because they liked my honesty and just the way I talked, and I wasn't giving you any bullshit. I'm just telling you what it is, what works. So think about that. That's how you all came in here. So find, your vibe attracts your tribe. You got to find your people. You don't want everyone, because not everyone's going to want what you're selling. So
yeah,
find your people.
Yep. And that's the, go ahead, Flip.
I was just going to say, find your people. That one kind of hit home. Why do I cuss a lot? One, it's who I am. It's how I was raised. It's how, I'm very fluent in sarcasm and petty. And I kind of bring that into how I coach, how I teach my content. And it's like, I've had folks say, hey, I can't follow someone like you. You're unprofessional and, you swear all the time. I say, well, fuck off over there, because this is me. And if that's the only thing you really can pay attention to is like how I am, then we're not going to vibe well. If I wanted to be professional, I would have went and looked for another job, working for another company. Yet I want to be myself. I want to, wear my Nike slides and run around in my yard and play with the youngins and just relax while I can still produce an income and help people. Yep. So, yeah, find your people.
And I think that's a really powerful thing to think about too. When you look at you guys as a brand owner, it's literally just empowering you to be you on the internet. Like, it's a wild concept if you think about it. You can post content on the internet, talk about things you're doing in your life, and get paid very well. Right? That's kind of crazy time we live in. The connection that you build through the content is what's going to make having a regular $1,000 days a real thing, right? And as Jeanette mentioned too, the number of people you repel is a good thing. You don't want clients that don't vibe with you or you don't connect with buying from you, right? Unless you're like just pump and dumping people into a product, then maybe, but that's not what we're here talking about anyway, so not relevant. Build the long-term connections. It's the LTV, the lifetime value of those customers is going to be huge, right? People will become repeat customers. You'll end up having people pay you and buy anything and everything because they like you. That's the reality of it. So why are you posting content, right? That's a big thing, right? Clarity before copy, something I picked up from Jacob Karras. To build a connection, right? Without your prospects feeling like they know you, trust you, and like you, they will not buy from you, right? It's a reality. They will not buy if they don't know you. There has to be a layer of trust. Can be arguably harder if you're in the make money online space because there's a lot of not so great stuff going on, but it's all good. To pre-sell on your offers, your beliefs, the strategies you're leveraging, your brand as a whole, right? When I say pre-sell, it doesn't have to be on a monetary thing. It could be and what I mean by pre-sale is you're just talking about what you're doing, your strategies, the product, things that you do, right? To plant seeds. The more content you're creating over prolonged periods of time, the shorter and shorter sales combos become because your content has built rapport with them before you've ever even had a conversation, right? Or made an offer, right? This is a big one. The better job you can do with content, the easier your sales become, right? If I have a piece of content that's talking about what building a brand online over the next 12 months is actually going to entail, and a conversation comes off of that piece of content, that person already knows what they're getting into. They know there's going to be work involved. They know that there's probably going to be an investment involved. So the job on my end is fairly easy, right? So is there any questions so far? I know we got a few people on. Let me
Yeah.
I see one.
We have this one. This is Lynn. Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
So you say do 3 to 4 short form videos all on your Facebook page or all social media?
So if I could tackle this one, kind of to go off what Nate was just saying too, if like I can actually use my wife as an example. She's actually sitting next to me here, but she wanted to get active on TikTok after, a long time. Me and her were supposed to start TikTok together at the beginning of 2021, and she's wanting to do more stuff, and she's got some really funny videos, and we're gonna build her following up, and then we'll worry about monetizing it later. But right now, she's just doing stuff, being a mom, being a wife, just stuff around the kids, and she's posting different scenarios and stuff that's involving our life. And yes, I am in some of those. It's a bit different from the content I create on my TikTok, but my point is she's posting consistently at least once a day, and if she misses a day, she doubles up the next day, and she's already got probably close to 1 million views just off of the last week. All right, one video went super viral. But if you not really saying post on your Facebook profile, the videos, because you can upload reels to Facebook. So give you a perfect example of a funnel without building a funnel is if you write a piece of long form content on your personal profile, all right, like words and maybe a picture, something relevant, whatever, maybe just a picture of you. And you're kind of pre-selling or even selling, making a offer in the public. We do that often too. You put that post out, and then you can create a TikTok or a Facebook reel that points to it, saying, hey, pre-selling on, the meat of your post, and then pointing people from your videos to that post. Okay. So that's how you can build awareness so people can find you, right? If you're not posting or talking about stuff, nobody's going to know you exist or have a thing to sell, right? I don't care if you're selling, flowers or wreaths or, furniture or wood designs or digital products, courses, whatever. nobody's going to know unless you're posting about it. So if you can make it a habit to post some kind of content every day, whether it's one video a day or 3 to 5, or one post in your group, whatever, the more content you post, then you're building that chunk of content where folks can find you easily and make it easier to build relationships, help folks, bring value, talk about the thing that you're doing. If you started a TikTok account today, brand new, and you spent the next 30 days talking about something that you're doing without selling, just talking about it. Hey, I just bought this, $1,000 thing, and I'm gonna make content talking about what I'm learning, how I'm doing it, how it helps, and all that. And you do that for 30 days. You will have people that will want to follow you because you're being open, honest, and transparent about what you're doing. And then later, if they love your content and the person that you are while you're teaching and speaking on the things you're learning, when it comes time that you do make an offer, they're already going to know who you are, what you're about, and how you operate. And the sale is going to be so much easier. All right. I don't care what you're selling. That's something else I became known for. Dildos, dump trucks, or digital courses. The process is still the same. You got to have people that know what you're selling. You got to know how to find people that want the thing that you're selling. And you got to have a way to sell it. Do that with anything, and you can build a brand, build a following, know, like, and trust, become a leader, and sell the shit that you want to sell. That's why we created Group Juice. We don't care if you sell our shit. Doesn't matter. We'll teach you how to sell anything you want to based on who you are, what you're about, and shit that you believe in. There it is in a nutshell.
And this comment, this is Lynn. It's funny you said wreaths. That's Lynn's jam is wreaths. So Lynn has been killing it. I told her to start making TikToks, just start talking, just hold a wreath and talk, like just, and she's been doing it and she's been taking off. So Lynn, that how I do it really is I make my short form on TikTok, and then I repurpose it to Facebook. That's how I roll. So short form videos are kind of easy to do on TikTok, but you can also do like Snapchat too, and then use that wherever you want: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reels.
Yeah, you can. The cool part is like if you create it on one platform, you can virtually put it on a few different platforms, right? If you create a TikTok, you can put it on Pinterest, put it on Facebook Reels, you put it on YouTube Shorts, Instagram. So it's like one piece of content can build up like 4 different places of exposure. We use Snaptik.app to remove the TikTok watermark. It's going to be an important one. If you are repurposing, make sure you do remove the watermark. I'm sure Jeanette can pop you a link for that. Super easy.
Yeah, I can show you how to do that. It's really easy.
Yeah.
What are you selling? This is a good question. What are you selling to people? What am I offering to sell people making these videos? That is completely up to you, right? We sell digital courses, coaching, consulting, whatever is going to help somebody build their business faster. But it's going to really change depending on what you're looking to build a brand in, right? It'll change, right? There's a plethora of different, you could sell anything, right? As we talked, just kind of mentioned, it's going to change depending on what you want to do, what you want to build a brand in, right? If you're creating content about fitness, you'd sell, supplements, weight loss, diet plans, meal plans, workout gear, right? If you're creating content about food, you can sell pots and pan sets, knives, recipe books. It really doesn't matter. We primarily do digital products personally. That's kind of what our jam is. Software, anything that's really going to help people get to where they want to go with their online business and their brand faster. And that's because that's what we create content about. We create content about entrepreneurship, making money online, right? So that's what it's going to be. You're going to want to pick a product that's going to be in line with the content you're creating, right? Yep. So whatever you're building your audience around, you're going to want to pick relevant products, right? So I've had a few people reach out to me like, hey, can you help me sell a diet thing, right? Like I don't have an audience for that. Nobody in my audience is going to want to buy a 12-week workout plan because I don't ever talk about any of that, right? You got to make sure it's kind of linear to what you're creating content about. And you don't have to create products, right? You can partner with companies as an affiliate. It's how we did our first 6 figures individually online as an affiliate, right? We actually usually even recommend delaying any type of product creation for as long as you can, because you can just focus on marketing and selling, right?
I want to add something because I've been on both sides, digital products and physical products. So I want to take you guys back to where I was the bearded wood butcher. All right, that was the first LLC that I started. Hence the beard. Haha. I bought this machine. Now, what I'm about to break down to you is exactly how we do our digital product selling as well. Okay, but I bought this machine. It was like $2,500 to buy the machine. It was a CNC machine, and this is kind of what kept us afloat after me and the wife lost our jobs, because we were making that. Now, I had a Facebook group. Check this out now. This really falls right into the Group Juice strategy. We're talking about selling whatever you want. I built a Facebook group, and I was making these custom wood signs. I was taking custom requests. I was doing all different kinds of things. One of the products that absolutely popped was door hangers. I was making these. Honey, would you do me a favor? Would you go get the door hanger off the front door so I can really show it to you? And I'll tell you a really cool story. Is it? She's going to grab it. But this was the first one that I made for us, and we posted it and talked about, how I made it. And I just asked, I was like, does anybody else want one? I'd love to make you one. And when I show it to you, there's a good chance you might want one. And we don't really do anything. I still have the machine, but I don't do anything. But it's what causes that desire, that want. All right, just by simply showing what I made, and it blew the fuck up. I bet you we were doing 75 to 100 of them per month. All right, locally, and thanks to Facebook mentioned in my group, I started to get people that weren't local. So I started shipping stuff. So here's the thing that I made. All right. This is what my machine made. This right here probably made us, I don't know, 30 grand in 2020 while we didn't have a job. It kept us afloat. It paid the bills, and just helped out with cash flow. So this very thing is what caused a lot of curiosity and intrigue, want and desire. And posting it in that Facebook group, I grew it to 1,000 people. And anytime I would post something new that I was making, this would be relative to a new offer coming out if you're in the digital space, like what we help folks do. Anytime you post something and say, hey, the next 10 people can pre-order this, right? That's how we were generating new business. And we were creating content. We were posting on Facebook. We were posting in for sale of our town. Everybody's got that little for sale page in their own town. And we were posting in there. We were getting orders from folks outside of our town, states over. I even shipped some stuff to all the way to Las Vegas. But that's how I was using Group Juice, the strategy behind it, to sell physical products. All right. So it can really be applied to anything that you want. It doesn't have to be, affiliate products. It doesn't have to be digital products. It could be anything. So like Lynn, like Jeanette was mentioned, Reefs, she could do the exact same thing following what we teach in Group Juice, right? She could blow up locally. Then she could branch out and start shipping stuff. But for the digital things that we create and sell, there's pretty much 100% profit margins. I think it cost me about $500 to run a business that does $20,000 to $50,000 a month. All right, so sit on that for a second. It's taken me, 2 years to get to a $20,000 to $50,000 a month business with digital products. There are folks that are doing this with physical products. There are folks doing this with paid ads. But we take the paid ads and the complicated software and the funnels out of the equation. It's simply content creation, relationship building, and creating the want and desire or need for what it is that we have to offer. Same thing applies to the world with physical products as well. So hopefully that was a great explanation of what you could sell.
So I'll kind of run through this long form content structure. Because I know this is a big one that hangs a lot of people up. How to create content, how to write content, right? Eye-catching headline, right? People's attention spans are like goldfish these days. So you got to kind of hook them in. So this is an example. Here's how I made $11,000 a day from a Facebook group of 43 people. Yes, it's a real number. We did have $11,600 a day out of a Facebook group of 43 people. You don't need a huge audience to make a lot of money. That's also a very common myth. Lead into ongoing problem. Talk about how it was when you were dealing with ongoing problem, how you felt, what it was that frustrated you, and what did that frustration cause in your life and business. Get specific, right? Specificity sells. The more specific you can be in your content, the better off it's going to be. You want to paint a picture to the people that consume it. Backstory, stories sell, right? Your story in general sells. It's what's going to build a connection. It's what's going to build a relationship. Can lean into the beginning of your journey, things that didn't pan out, failures, other challenges you faced, setbacks, real struggles, right? If you can anchor in your backstory and how things changed when you moved into what you're trying to sell, the better off you can be. This would kind of be like an offer post structure, right? So if you're actually making an offer, example, I started doing XYZ using ABC. What did you start seeing and realizing, right? What did you find that you were missing? And how did you come across it? Be real, right? Results and benefits from discovering this method. All the cool shit that comes with your offer. If you don't have results, that's completely fine. You can by all means leverage community results. You can leverage other people who are doing the same thing, right? Leverage people in your ecosystem or your world that are implementing the exact same strategies as you. If they've bought the product, lean into that, right? Results, benefits, yeah. Modesty will keep you broke in this world. That's the reality of it. Talk about cool shit that you're doing, right? I'm not saying you have to go out there and talk about you're like egotistical, you're the coolest person in the world, but people need proof of concept. They need to know that what you're involved in is actually working. If you're selling physical products, have people send pictures with the product. Someone bought something, right? Seeing somebody else buy or do what you're talking about is very validating, right? Right. This is going to lead growth in what areas? Aha moments, mindset and perspective shifts, more sales, more leads, engagement, group growth, followers, more confidence, more drive, right? Results don't have to be monetary. They could literally be anything, right? You guys could go take this training that we're doing right now, go turn it into a piece of content talking about what you learned or how you got offended from somebody's humor.
Or how many times the word dildo has been used in today's class.
Yeah. And with the CTA, and what I mean by CTA, call to action, tell people what you want them to do, right? Get a little bit more specific than this. Instead of drop a hashtag me to get whatever you are offering, you have to tell people what you want them to do, right? You can't expect somebody to just know, right? So if you're trying to generate a conversation, you're trying to get somebody into your community, entice them to come into your group and tell them why they should join and tell them exactly how to join your group or how to start a conversation with you or how they can get your physical product. It doesn't just be specific with what you want somebody to do. Walk them through that process, right?
Yeah. And if you're creating videos or you want to start creating videos just to build a personal brand around whatever, or maybe you want to do what my wife's doing and just build a following for fun around the person that you are, don't expect folks to just follow you. You will have some folks that'll hit the follow button. But hey, if you like this mom and wife shit, these funny videos where I'm talking shit to my husband, make sure you follow me because I do this every week, right? A call to action would be to follow me, join my group. Hey, comment below if you want to get this thing so you know how to do this thing, right? comment below if you can relate to this, right? Comment below if you want to see more about it. Like, just like Nate said, get specific on it. A call to action doesn't have to be, to get something to buy. It could be just to get more information. Invite them to your world. That's also considered making an offer. If I invite someone to join my group, that's me making an offer to them to come into my world to see what I'm about. And I want folks to consume my content first before they ever buy anything. I had someone ready to give me a couple grand the other day, and I was like, do not buy my shit. You're not the right fit. I don't get a good vibe from you, and I don't want you inside of our stuff, because we like to protect our community, right? We don't want negative folks in there. We don't want folks joining just to be a part of our affiliate program. We want folks to join so they can become a better version of themselves, learn some long-term skills that will pay them in the years to come, and we want certain kinds of folks inside of Group Juice, or any of our products for that matter, right? So just keep that in mind.
So let's talk about content intention, right? So go pain and solution focused in your content. This is a big one, right? Examples: you're selling a diet plan. You're not creating content about how someone's life sucks because they're overweight, right? Nobody's going to want to buy anything from you if you make content like that. You're painting the picture as to how they would feel when they lose weight, right? That's the intention in your content, right? Like, and this is a huge one, right? This is a big thing a lot of people miss in their content, is like the things that you're talking about, or the verbiage, or the message you're putting out in your content is going to be a direct correlation to the type of audience that you build, right? If you're always talking about how easy online business is, you're going to talk about how you're going to make $1 million with a $5 investment, right? You have to think about what type of audience that content is actually going to build, right? People that want to spend no money, people that want to do no work, right? So you're in high ticket affiliate marketing space, right? Similar example, you're telling people how shitty their life is because they aren't willing to invest in themselves, right? I see this all the time, all over my feed, right? Like, if you don't invest, your life's going to be shit type thing. Right. You have to invest, like you're revealing the actual benefit of investing into something, right? How is their life going to change from buying something, right? And what is the actual cost of them not investing, right? They're wasting 6 months, 7 months because they don't want to invest, right? They're burning their most precious asset, their time, to not invest, right? Or anchor in your investments, things you've actually invested in, right? When you start talking, when we, like in the beginning of this training, when we talk about we've invested X amount of dollars into coaching, consulting, like anybody who watches this training and is like, they want to get everything for free, they're probably already lost interest, because we openly talked about us investing in something. We still do. Yeah. I mean, we buy things all the time.
One of my favorite examples, I shared this a little bit yesterday, but it's like, how many of you have paid to go to college? I paid to go to college and I got kicked out, but that was my own fault, right? But like, if you look at the investment to go and take 4 years of college classes, right, versus the percentage of folks that actually go out and get good jobs is very low based on the degree that they went for. It's like you might spend, 30, 40 grand on college for 2 to 4 years, and you'd be lucky if you get a job paying that salary, right? And then it blows people's minds when I say, I sold my lawnmower while I was in a bad spot, and I invested $1,500 to learn the skills behind personal branding, sales and marketing, and affiliate marketing. I invested $1,500 with a long-term vision of turning it into something to where my wife would be like, it's about fucking time you made this shit happen. That's another story. But I invested $1,500 and have done more than $300,000 online, right? Off of a $1,500 investment. So like, to give you a real example, like say we're in September now. All right. Group Juice, as an example, is set up to be a 4-day workshop. obviously it's lifetime access and what have you, but 4 days to set up things the way that we wish we would have did it, right? Based off of all of the bullshit we went through. So 4 days plus all the bonuses inside, you know, we actually put a lot more inside. But let's say you jumped into that and you take the next 30 days to really consume it, start implementing. And then the second month, you start to see some traction. You even tip a couple sales, right? Then you've got this process and this concept. You're like, fuck, this shit works. And then you go hard on it. And you take your Netflix time and you turn it into business growth time, personal development time. And then by the time November comes around, boom, you're hitting $1,000 to $2,000 a month, right? And then you've got extra Christmas money. And then you got this process that works and produces cash flow for you every month. And then by the time January rolls around, boom, you hit a $3,000 a month. By summertime, you're hitting a $10,000 a month. Boom, and you're hitting consistent $5,000 to $10,000 months, right? And then by the time you get to Christmas next time, you've left your job. You're now doing this full time. You become a person of value. You know shit. People pay you because of the shit you know. And you're able to help other people do even better, right? And make stuff happen. And then the following year, 2024, boom, you're blowing up. You're making $20,000 to $50,000 a month. Like, that's what we're really selling. The know-how, the support to do it, right? The process as a whole. If someone would have came to me in 2020 and was like, hey, Flip, if you do this, here's what you can look forward to in the next 12 to 24 months. Your life's going to change. You're going to be at home full time with your wife and kids. You're going to be able to support her traveling habit. Your kids are going to know who you are. You're going to have that relationship. Y'all are going to take trips, more trips than you've ever taken before. Oh, and by the way, you're going to change hundreds of people's lives. You're going to make their life better. You're going to give them the shit that they thought they were going to get with other things and didn't get it. It's going to make sense for them. They're going to love you for it. They're going to talk about you. It's going to be great. And as a bonus, you'll make more money than you've ever made. If someone would have came and told me that, I'd be like, you're full of shit, bro. But here we are. Okay. You need to start looking long term. Like, fuck, if I can learn some skills in the next 2 months that are going to pay me, $5,000 a month next year, I'm all for it. Right. Which brings me to something else I want to share for those of you that are watching, because you're in Jeanette's group. Some really cool stuff. Does anybody have any questions around what we've covered so far? Right? Let me know.
This is like a specific question, but this is Lynn. This might be a stupid question. No stupid questions, Lynn. She has a Facebook business page. She boosts and advertises her wreaths for her wreaths in her Facebook shop. I have 3K followers. I'm understanding right that I should send them to my group.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different, right? So like we don't personally do very much on business pages. It's primarily Facebook profile, building an audience on a profile. But since you are boosting posts, it is going to be a little bit of a different medium for you. I would encourage you to maybe start posting some content directly on your profile, some short form content directly on your Facebook profile, not on your business page. You won't be able to boost posts, but the reach, the logic behind it is you might not even have to boost posts anymore, right? Because the reach on a business page in comparison to a personal profile is Facebook will view you as a business on a business page, right? They want to get paid. That's how Facebook makes their money. Versus your profile, you're a creator, right? You are keeping people on their platform, and that's how they make money, right? So I would maybe look at trying to test a few different styles, right? Maybe post some of your reels on your actual profile, because the engagement is usually going to be a lot higher, right? Yeah. I know this from experience. I have a business page with about 9,600 followers on it. And unless I boost a post, it's not getting, like, I'm not getting any engagement, versus if I post on a profile, even before I had more followers than that, I would get a lot more engagement, right? Especially if you start mixing in Facebook Reels. because you're going to start building up your following on your profile. So I would test, right? If you're already pushing them to your Facebook store, you're already making sales. I'm not going to tell you to start changing it, because if you're making money, you obviously don't want to chop your business off at the head. Maybe have a link or direct people to join your group in unison with a purchase, right? Start building a community about what you're doing, and with like people that are purchasing from you, people that are not purchasing from you as well, pushing them into your community. But definitely don't like just stop doing everything to put people in your group, because if that's where you're generating your money from, you want to still do that, right? Just look at ways that you can start building your community at the same time. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'm not like all over doing that.
No, she said it makes most sense. She said it makes sense.
And a big thing I want to touch on, we don't have too much more, so I won't really run the rest of this doc. You guys do have access to this. Jeanette can pin it in the post. Mm-hmm. One thing I want to encourage really quickly, though, is anchoring in your own stories and experiences. Everyone has their own unique angle. Everyone is a unique human being, which ultimately makes the whole "it's too saturated" thing a myth, right? Nobody is you. Nobody has your personality. Nobody has your experience, right? And bringing that to your content is what is going to allow you to stand apart from everybody else, right? Take a couple of our clients, for example, in our coaching program. They absolutely everybody's always like, oh, affiliate marketing is too saturated. It's too competitive. Like, you can't do this, right? We were running a promo in unison with them running a promo, and we both shot the lights out of the offer, right? Both of us, right? We did like 51,000 that month. I think they did somewhere of like 24, 30. Same exact market, same exact thing, right? Not same exact thing. Sorry. Same market, same industry, right? There's an abundance of people who want to do whatever it is you're trying to sell. So that's the point of it, is encouraging everybody to lean into themselves, right? If that's one thing you haven't picked up from this training, lean into you, right? Getting better at content creation will be by far one of the most lucrative things you guys can do. So
100%.
Yep. 3 billion people on the internet. No such thing as saturation.
Facts.
Does anybody else have any questions? Drop them in the comments. Also, hit that heart button as much as you can. Make sure it pushes it out, lightning rapid, because it'll push it out to everybody in the group. Helps me out. And if you guys love this training today, if you found a lot of value from it, please let us know in the comments. Honesty. I mean, if you were like, this was shit, an hour and a half, I'm gonna jump off a bridge, put in the comments. We like to hear feedback.
Yeah, don't be stingy with your words, because if you like this, and like this was a free training, right? Free hangout session. This is a very pretty good snapshot of what it's like being inside of our paid stuff. Okay, especially Group Juice, which is one thing I wanted to mention. You've probably seen Jeanette talk about it already. Group Juice as a whole, but also I recently just had my wedding anniversary, and I wanted to do something crazy. I've came to Nate with a lot of crazy ideas. Second program. Sorry, I squirreled off. Glad you got a lot out of it. It's awesome. Let me link to your program and cellular program to make money. Kelly, short answer is yes. We highly encourage you to build your own brand around it, but we do have lots of folks that successfully sell our program because of the folks that are in their audience, and it makes sense. So I wouldn't say, hey, just join our shit so you can sell it. We're not saying that, but we're saying if you come in and you love it and you implement it and you get results, any kind of results, and you're like, fuck yeah, I love it, then you can sign up to be an affiliate and you can gladly and happily promote it, right? We're almost at 200 folks that are inside Group Juice that, and I think about 80% of them have signed up to be affiliates because of how we operate and do things, which kind of brings me to what I was about to say. We've also got something for the super skeptical folks, which is our More Money Multiplier. It's got one of our beginner trainings in it, Juice Box. Like I said, Jeanette's probably told you all about it. But right now, because of my wedding anniversary, I came to Nate with the crazy idea. All my crazy ideas has not only helped us make money, but it's also helped a lot of other folks make money. So it's a win-win. And I came up with a great idea. And we dropped the price of More Money Multiplier, which was $200. We added our $100 training Juice Box to it, which is how to start as a beginner or someone who's already went through things like Legendary Marketer or, Freedom Breakthrough, stuff like that, or any other program really, and you just want to boost shit up, right? The best way to optimize and monetize your social media. And we put that together. We took a lot of training from our $6,000 coaching program, which is a core accelerator, and we brought 5 trainings into that. That's what we call the Profit Playbook. So you get that. Plus, we ran an in-person mastermind. We actually had clients that flew from all across the U.S., and we all hung out for a week. We ran a virtual training there around mindset, content, conversations, and then offer creation, right? You get all of that too. We're letting that go for $100 until tonight. So if you want that, hit Jeanette up for it. And we did one special yesterday. We're also going to allow that to fly because Jeanette's fucking awesome and she cusses just like I do, and I love her to death. We've got a special deal, okay? And it's only going to be for a couple folks. I did this exact same thing yesterday, and I'm super serious because we never discount any of our shit just because a lot of folks say, hey, you don't charge enough.
It's already too cheap.
Yeah. It's too cheap, right? If you look at the results that have came out of it based on the investment amount, yeah, it's way too cheap. But hit Jeanette up. We'll let a couple folks get Group Juice, which would include everything that I just mentioned, plus all of the other bonuses for a discounted price. But just for today.
What?
We got to end it because we got to end it. So hit Jeanette up. We're going to hook her up with a very special link. You guys can check out more info on Group Juice or the More Money Multiplier, whichever you want to do. Hit Jeanette up after this live. Both of those deals, they go away and the discount goes away. The More Money Multiplier goes back up to its normal price. We removed the Profit Playbook, and it's not some bullshit we're doing. It's just an anniversary special that we run. Okay. It's a crazy idea. So tonight at 11:59 p.m. EST, it goes away and we go back to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay. So if you want it, hit Jeanette up. She'll get you all the details for it. We'll hook her up with something special. And if you jive with us, if you like us, this is what you get inside of Group Juice. This is how we rock. We show up every Monday. You get lifetime access. We cuss, we drink coffee, we drink wine, we have a good time, and we make money.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys.
That's it.
I appreciate that. I did not know that this was happening. So sweet. Also, I was gonna say for the people that want to jump into Group Juice, thinking like 5 people that really want to jump in, you're gonna get some stuff from me on the back end as well, for jumping into Group Juice.
Nice.
More of like a one-on-one training and stuff like that. So I have the details for that, but we're also getting a discount. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate that, guys. That's great. Beverly said, I'm in. Nice, Beverly.
Get it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know, drop it in the comments if you're interested. Shoot me a message in Messenger. I'd be happy to chat about it for sure. But thank you guys. That's freaking awesome.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And just to be even more transparent, when you hit Jeanette up, read the info she gives you. Okay, like if it's not for you, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
All right. Don't feel obligated. We really don't twist people's arm. Give it a good read. Okay. If you got questions, hit Jeanette up. Right. If she's got something that she can't quite answer, hit us up. Just wanted to make that clear. This is not for everyone. We are not everybody's cup of tea. And we only want folks that are gonna really show up and put the fucking work in so you guys can do what we've done quicker. That's it. That's not you.
Yeah.
You're happy with what you got going on, and like this isn't for me. No hard feelings whatsoever. But we just want to make sure it's the perfect, ideal situation for you to make that decision. Okay, so say that.
Yeah, and same. Like, this group isn't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You guys are stuck with me forever. So, there'll be more training in here. If you're not ready yet, that's fine. If you don't want to, if you're like, I don't fucking like these guys, you don't have to jump in.
Yeah.
But
and if you don't like us, please don't, because this this
is what you're gonna get every week. So
yeah.
Don't do it.
And we do lifetime weekly calls on Mondays. So I mean,
Yeah. And if you're wondering what that's like, it's just like this, except it's more people commenting ridiculous things. So it's a lot of fun.
We're legit borderline unprofessional, but knowledgeable, if that makes sense.
That's why. And just the community within Group Juice too. Like all the people that are within Group Juice are some of the best people. They really are. Like everybody's so helpful and everybody wants to help each other, and it's odd. Now in today's age, it's like when I first joined Group Juice, I was like, somebody reached out, like, oh, do you need help? And I was like, I already bought the program. Like, what are you trying to sell me? And they're like, no, I really just want to help. I was like, oh, that's amazing. These people are so nice. Yeah. So awesome. I do appreciate that, guys. And thank you guys for sticking 100%. With us. It's been like an hour and a half and you're still here. So that's great.
Yeah.
It's a ride or die.
If you can deal with us this long, you're in.
All right, Tyler said, wait, we're supposed to be professional? Fuck that.
Exactly.
I like Tyler.
Yeah.
Elastic waistband 365.
Right? I'm all about that. I have an elastic waistband on right now.
Me too.
That's where the bit. Am I wearing pants? Who knows?
There it is.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having us. Thanks for having us in, Jeanette. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate you guys coming in. I hope everybody learned a lot. Get your brain rolling on some stuff. And like we said, if you're interested, anything you need, just hit me up. I'm happy to help you out.
Yep.
And that's what we got for you today.
Yeah. You got about 12 hours. Not to rush anyone, but if you like the shit we were talking about today, it's a little less than 12 hours before everything goes back to normal. We sell Group Juice pretty much every day of the week. We've been averaging about, I don't know, within our business and our products, like $1,000 a day, pretty much all year. So if you want to not pay full price for Group Juice this one day and get access to all of our fuckery and knowledge, hit Jeanette up. All right. Jump in, get straight. She'll get you sorted. But I had a ball today, if you couldn't tell. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Let me know. Hit me up. And everybody have a good day. Happy Wednesday. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for making me drink wine so early in the day. I really appreciate it.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace out.